Yeah, they have a timeline, and their timeline now is definite. And this is the first time he's ever given me his timeline. But he kept on using the expression, and I beg of you, I'm doing the same thing. He kept using the expression over and over and over in our conversation, which was quite lengthy. He said 2 years, 2 years, 2 years.
Okay, Lindsey,
2 years
Lindsey,
more.
I want to do something. How many other points in the timeline do you have?
Oh, I've got a few here, Alex, but we'll
Listen, next week we'll have you back on for another hour if you can do it, and we'll detail them more. But for now, just mention the last few, and let's go to calls.
Okay. First of all, everything that happened to Iceland is going to be happening to the United States of America. If you want to know exactly what's going to take place in this country, look at what happened to Iceland. And basically, you have the basics of what he said. So let's take some phone calls, Alex.
Well, no. I mean, I don't want to stop you, but I do want to get the wild card of calls. Are there any other points you need to hit?
Well, that basically is it, except there's so much more. Each one could be elaborated on. If I could go into the subject of crude oil, I would. The Bakken Reserve. This is, oh, my goodness, we have everything we need right here in this country.
Are they still planning to open up?
Any of this to be opened up.
Are they still planning to open up other eastern reserves to destroy the Arabs?
Okay, all right, I'm glad you asked this. Crude oil prices have begun to go up around $80 a barrel now. If this continues, they will open up their other reserves north of Russia, and the other one I mentioned on your program about a year ago. They will open up those reserves and bring the price back down again. So they have an ace in the hole, so to speak. They have a way that they can do anything they want to do. And if it continues to go up, watch those big oil fields to be open, but not in the United States of America. They have no intentions of allowing any crude oil in the United States of America or from Alaska to ever be brought to the refineries of America.
All right, let's go ahead and take calls here. First up for our guest is Kyle in Philadelphia. You're on the air, Kyle.
Hey, Alex and Lindsey, how you doing?
Hi, Kyle.
Real quick, I believe we've been conditioned for another major terrorist attack through video games and TV and movies. Will there be another massive attack, possibly even a nuke?
I did not talk with him about this. He did not mention it to me. We were so busy talking about the economy.
But when he says war, they always start a war with a staged terror attack.
That's true.
Well, that kind of dovetails with what Gerald was saying yesterday.
Gerald Salente yesterday, yes.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the call, Steve. Let's go ahead and talk to... No, that was Kyle. Steve just hung up. Let's go to Greg in Florida. You're on the air, Greg.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for coming forward with this information, Pastor Williams. I called my mother about this, tried to warn her about things because she's talking about investing in real estate, and she doesn't really believe in all of this stuff to an extent. But she mentioned to me that President Obama is trying to make it so that the bullet manufacturers are putting an additive into the ammunition that's being sold in the United States so that after 2 years, it's no longer effective.
Yes. The feds are looking at making that law, making you thumbprint and face scan and sign forms to buy any ammo. That's already happened in California with the thumbprinting. I mean, literally there's more than 15 bills that I've pulled out. Each one of them devastates the Second Amendment. And then every time we try to fight the bills, they just go, they don't exist. It's just mind-blowing. But anything else, Greg?
No, sir. That just had to do with the 2-year timeline. I wanted to see, because I hadn't heard you mention it before, so I wanted to...
Yeah, you can pull up...
There's two things he did mention. We talked about gun control. One of the final things that they will touch is they will attempt to do this. Also, there are two things, really. And when these two things take place, it's over. You've had it. You're done for. Number one, gun control. Whenever they try to pull that cord, and it's one of the last ones...
Hold on, you hit your phone button, Lindsey. It cut off what you said. Say it again.
Okay, there are two major things will be the last things they will do. Number one is gun control. Secondly is the talk show host, such as Alex Jones. One of the last things they're going to touch is the media, because they know that the day that they touch the media,
Well, that's the balloon going up. I mean, that's the last thing Hitler did, is he left it all in place till the very end, because that's the canary in the coal mine.
That's right, and that's the last thing. He mentioned this. I mean, one of the last things they'll touch are these things. When they touch those, you know you've had it.
Or we know that it's about to be a physical war, which all these macho idiots who are used to beating up kids and dopers have no idea what it's going to be like. I'm not looking for a fight, I'll tell you that right now, but you corner somebody, what else can they do? What was the other thing? You said talk show host.
Number one is your gun control. This is one of the last things they'll touch. They'll touch ammunition. They'll stop them from producing it. They'll do everything imaginable, but gun control itself. Number two is talk show host.
All right, let's go to calls.
They
Dean,
know that the day they touch them, that they won't have the national media as their mouthpiece.
Dean in Oregon, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Lindsey, Alex, thanks for having me on the show today.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
I want to go back to your timeline where you're saying that we won't be able to do anything because we're going to be too poor to rebel. It's important for people to realize out there that this is going to be done slowly. I mean, I'm already at a point here in Oregon, being unemployed for over a year now. In my mind, I can see how this is going to come out.
Well, it's worse than that. They're going to get tens of millions of people. It's already happened. Close to 100 million out of jobs. The government's going to point them as a weapon at the middle class, saying they're the rich, and the ultra elite are going to loot everybody, have pay cuts for people that are middle class, upper middle class, nouveau riche, and they always do this. The elite are going to sick the poor people and the disenfranchised on anybody with money except for the ultra rich. Lindsey, comments.
Yes. Please, everybody out there listening to Alex Jones day after day, believe everything he says. Everything that this gentleman told me, everything the elite have been telling me recently, it backs up everything that Alex Jones says. Believe me, it is truth. Believe it and listen to it and take heart to it.
Well, Lindsey, the check's in the mail, but no, I mean, I'm only going off of what they're saying in their own reports, what they've done in other countries. And all these yuppies and people that think they're part of the system, you're going to be robbed. I mean, I hope you know that. The government's going to come rob you. I mean, the globalists want like a Soviet purge in America with a tiny elite and all the rest of us slaves, and the bureaucrats moving into all our houses. I mean, my God, environmental cops all over the country. Every 2 days I see articles where they're moving into people's ranch houses they've stolen. I mean, they're not playing games. And I want to tell the SWAT teams and police something. They've got a bad job for you. Well, let me tell you something. And when you're all wiped out, they plan to march in the I-4 foreigners. And that's in the FEMA documents, NLE 09. More calls straight ahead.